Hi guys, it is time to get a little more serious and to stop lending our ears to the few crazy people out there, those who hear voices telling them things and such. Anyway, there are many stories coming out, stories like Harry being rushed to hospital in the early hours of the morning due to a suspected overdose, etc., etc. There are stories about Meghan's book, their relationship, Doria moving in with him, and all kinds of things. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea how much of this is actually true. As a matter of fact, my informants are so quiet that I'm actually worried. I really hope Meghan's people did not get to some of them, although I have been very, very careful when someone had proven to be a very legitimate source. But anyway, I don't think that that is necessarily it. I just think the Harkles have gone a little, very little incognito. Well, at least until the 19th. I still think inducting Harry into the Aviation Hall of Fame is absolutely crazy. To me, it does not matter who the awards belong to, it is still a joke and a slap in the face of true aviators. Even if Harry paid for the award, it does not matter. But there are true heroes out there, and to replace even just one real hero with a little fake like that is really a slap in the face. But that is not what we're going to be talking about today either. The other buzz in the media is now all about the new book and all the stories coming out from that. One in particular is about the Queen's anger when she learned that their child was named Lilibet. Why people are so upset about it now, God alone knows. It is old, and I mean almost ancient news. I told you they phoned and asked whether they could name the kid after the Queen, and she said yes, thinking they meant Elizabeth. We know she was upset because we knew, and likely Harry and Meghan also knew it, that the Queen did not want anyone calling her Lilibet ever again after Prince Philip's death. Now, if we knew it, how could Harry and Meghan not know about it? But it was indeed just another way to show one up to the Queen and the monarchy. Oh, you old woman, so you think you own the word royal, do you? Well, you do own Lilibet, so watch me take it. I can just hear Meghan saying something like that. And Harry, like a salivating, panting dog, going, yeah, yeah, yeah. That darn idiot. Well, I watch the statistics on .gov every 2 to 3 months or so, and while the Queen was still alive, her popularity ratings was around 75%. The last one was indeed up to 75%. She was disliked by only 8%, and 14% of people did not give a hoot one way or the other. King Charles, however, is a completely different matter though. Although there was a steep rise in his popularity around the Queen's death, one can assume that it was a sympathy vote because soon it dropped back to where it was before. And I'm even going to say it dropped to a little bit worse because I think before the Queen passed, he was about 54%, and then during this whole period after the Queen passed and the transition, he went up to 60 something percent, and then he dropped back to where he was at 54, And now he's down to 51%. Does not look good. But anyway, 22% of those questioned did not like him at all, and 23% could not give a rat's arse about him. Now, it may look almost insignificant presented like this 51%, 22%, 23%, but if only 1%, say, constitutes 10,000 or 100,000 people, then those statistics are bad, really, really bad. But you ask, what does the king's popularity have to do with Harry and Meghan and Lilibet and, say, even Archie? Well, let's use the new Danish king and queen as an example. They are both very popular, and that one small scandal or potential scandal is not going to rock their boat and topple it. Frederick has a good, solid 82% approval rating, and his wife Mary is doing even better at 86%. A scandal of sorts or a minor misstep can topple a couple of percentages off their scores, 5, 10 maybe, okay? And that is it. But not so for Charles. Knock 2 to 5% off, and he can just as well put his hands up in defeat. I mean, if we knock 4% off his current 51%, then we are talking about 47, 46, 45% approval rate. Not good. Not good at all. And again, I hear you ask, what does that have to do with Lilibet Diana? Well, it has everything to do with the fact that although I blame Harry and Meghan as two fully grown adults for everything they have done and said, I blame the king for the hurt they caused family and friends and the damage they have done to the monarchy. It could have been stopped a long, long time ago. Myself and others wrote to Buckingham Palace asking for explanations, simple explanations on simple questions and answers that we are entitled to. Like, why is there no one who can vouch for Archie being born at the Portland? 2. Why hasn't the OBGYN who birthed him not put her hand up yet and said, I was the one who pulled him from Meg's vagina. Me, I did it. Okay? Number 3, and my personal favorite, who christened Archie and when? I asked very politely for an explanation of how it was possible for someone to have seen the Archbishop of Canterbury in York at the Synod meeting at just after 9 a.m. and again exiting that particular chamber just after 12, seemingly on a lunch break. But on the other hand, it is said in the worldwide media that the Archbishop of Canterbury christened Archie on July the 6th. Well, I can't say. Maybe Archie was christened on July the 6th. But then it is highly, highly unlikely that he was christened by the Archbishop of Canterbury. So why lie? If the child was christened that day, but by another bishop or a junior bishop, then so what? Why lie? And why, when a formal request is submitted to the office of the Archbishop, do they refuse to answer? And I have proof of that. Every time we ask the question, you get some kind of generic reply stating something like these are the rules for christening and you have to do this beforehand and inform them a month before and see the bishop and blah blah blah. Some generic instruction that you get in return, not a reply to your answer. Okay, like I said, They acknowledged receipt of my email twice, but no simple explanation, nothing. And hence I have reason to believe that one, Archie was either not christened on that particular day, or he was christened on that day, just not by Justin Welby. A member of the congregation was also unable to find or retrieve christening records for Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor. Why? Why? The list is long as to why we have doubts about Archie's true birth, and today is not the day to go through it all again. The only conclusion is that there is good enough reason to believe that Megan did not birth Archie. I'm not saying 101% that she didn't birth him. I am saying there are 101 reasons to believe that she didn't. Okay, so on to Lilibet, the little girl who stole the Queen's name, or at least her parents did. Well, to date, we have seen 4 different little girls representing Lilibet. One with red hair, one with brownish blonde hair, one with almost white blonde hair, and one with bright orange hair. She appears also to grow and shrink on the same day. In one photograph, she is taller than on the other, but we'll talk more about that some other time. Dr. Drake, who supposedly delivered Lily, but shortly after she closed her practice, and we heard she was embroiled in a court case where a baby died and the doctor is allegedly held responsible. So there is no Dr. Drake that we can approach, and her records are probably sealed or taken over by another doctor. I also played you a call a friend made with me on speakerphone to the cottage hospital, where no one, from the receptionist to a doctor they put us through at the maternity ward, knew anything about Meghan Markle or the Duchess of Sussex giving birth there. Now, how many times have creators like us tried to get a proper birth certificate for Lily? And when I say a proper birth certificate, one that actually looks like it is a Santa Barbara birth certificate, and one who actually has Lily's supposed father, namely Henry, Albert, whatever all his names are, having his names on the birth certificate. We have tried more times than I can count. I tried twice. I still remember I paid $19 the first time. Paula M couldn't understand why she had to pay 50 and I paid 19. And then the next time I applied, I also had to pay 50. Anyway, Paula M tried numerous times. 1 or 2 subscribers on my behalf paid the $50 for a copy a few times and nothing. First, they could not find anything, and there was one person who got a copy which is exactly the same as the one put out by TMZ. In other words, no name for the fathers, and also it does not correspond with what a Santa Barbara birth certificate really looks like. Anyway, but the rest of us only got not available or could not find it. Anyway, if the child was born at the cottage hospital in Santa Barbara and on the 4th of June, then something is very, very wrong. Either the child wasn't born on that day, or she wasn't born there, or she was born under a different name, whatever. or they screwed up the record taking. I don't know, but something is still. I mean, that child is not a baby anymore. She's what, turning 2, I think, or she is 2 already. I'm not sure, but she's not a baby anymore. And if there were any mistakes, surely it should have been rectified by now. But, if there were mistakes, do I know what they are? No, unfortunately, I don't. However, what do I think? I think the Duchess was delivered of a boy via helicopter and of a girl likely via private jet. That is what I think. And why? Because I have no choice but think that. The Harkles gave me no choice but to believe that the births of these 2 children were not exactly kosher. I have no choice but to believe something is very, very wrong. I heard so many theories, of which the surrogacy theory is a recurring and the most popular theory, because admittedly it makes the most sense. I was even offered the name of Archie's supposed surrogate. Allegedly, the informant overheard a conversation between Meghan and Harry, or shall I rather say, an argument between Meghan and Harry, during which Meghan said to Harry something like, "We bought them a house." Now, I do not think it would be very clever of me to give the names of the supposed surrogate, okay? I may just land myself in legal trouble. But the fact remains that these stories are out there. Yet the King Charles, despite all these stories, despite all the questions, still allowed those 2 children into the line of succession, allowed them to bear the titles of prince and princess, knowing full well that there are questions surrounding their births. And please, 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 do not tell me that the king had nothing to do with the children's titles. Please do not underestimate my intelligence. Yes, Meghan and Harry could have decided one winter's morning, under the influence of some mushroom, to call their children Prince and Princess. But in order for records to be changed and their titles to be changed, to enter them into the line of succession, the monarch must approve of it and Parliament must be informed. Go Google it. The letter to Parliament looks and sounds something like, henceforth or as from, and then a date, the first son, Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor, of the King's second son, Prince Henry Albert, will be titled Prince Archie, a prince of Britain and the realm. I mean, something like that. I know it's like 2 lines and the King's signature, something like that. But I can't remember word for word, but it's more or less something like this. Then it goes to Parliament, where it is then read out, and they all cheer for it. Hooray for Prince Archie, or something like that. Anyway, so King Charles III knowingly allowed for it, whereas in my opinion, he should have addressed the doubts and the questions first. So many people think that Harry and Meghan are blackmailing the king, and that is why he had not stripped their titles yet. And I think they are, in a way, blackmailing him, but with the fact that he has knowledge of these children's births and did nothing and said nothing. So do you now see why I am saying that these 2 children pose a huge risk for King Charles? What if it comes out that an already rather unpopular, a 51%er, knew and helped cover up these births, do you think his reign will be able to withstand the lie or withstand such a big lie? I do not think so. Anyway, guys, when I come back on the next video, I'm going to debunk some more stories regarding the children. So hang on, put in your mouth guards and buckle yourselves down. It is going to be a bumpy, bumpy ride. So until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.